All right, let's jump right into this explainer and set the stage for a really high stakes lesson. And honestly, this completely defies everything traditional business schools teach us about leadership. We're going to explore a really powerful concept called the reversal premium. It's all about how leaning into a massive strategic failure, instead of hiding from it, can actually forge lifelong executive authority. Picture this, a ticking clock, 90 seconds counting down. It's a Wednesday morning at 9:14 a.m. in a tense boardroom smelling of commercial carpet cleaner and cold espresso. Our executive had exactly 90 seconds to either tank his career entirely or fundamentally reinvent it. And the whole thing hinged on just a single, agonizing moment of truth. So here's the setup. The absolute crucial point is this massive gap in the data. He had promised $1.4 million in first-year operational savings from a vendor consolidation program he championed, but the verified ledger data that literally just landed in his inbox proved otherwise. Because of massive integration drag, the actual savings were going to top out at a mere $260,000. That $1.4 million? Poof, a complete illusion. He leaned over to his analyst, Naomi. She's 28, completely terrified, has no idea the numbers are broken, and is just about to present the doomed data. He gently stops her and whispers, "Skip 14. I'll take it directly." He was intentionally taking the bullet. He was getting ready to dismantle his own credibility right there in public, stepping into the kind of vulnerability that most leaders spend their whole lives furiously avoiding. And this brilliantly illustrates what MBA programs actually train you to do when numbers go bad. They teach you evasive maneuvers. Hide behind fuzzy metrics like brand equity, push the timeline out so the curve looks better later, or just blame the macroeconomic climate. Doing that guarantees you stay a mid-level manager forever. I mean, sure, it protects you in the short term, but it completely prevents you from ascending to real leadership. But the folks who actually make it to the executive suite, they understand a concept called the reversal premium. This is that incredibly rare currency of absolute trust that boards pay out when you prove you can self-correct in real time. Think about it from the board's perspective. They don't promote you for being psychic. Nobody can predict the future perfectly. They promote you for being someone they can completely trust to flag a failing strategy long before it takes the whole company down. Section 1, the binary of leadership, lawyer versus surgeon. When a highly visible strategy collapses, you are immediately forced into one of two corporate roles. There's no middle ground here. First up, we have the corporate lawyer. The lawyer defends a position at all costs. They filter and spin contradictory data just to protect their ego. By doing this, they're implicitly telling the board, hey, my relationship with reality is entirely conditional on whether reality makes me look good. A board might nod along, but they will never entrust a lawyer with true enterprise authority. On the flip side, we have the corporate surgeon. If a surgeon finds unexpected pathology mid-operation, they don't just finish the procedure to prove their first diagnosis was right. That would literally kill the patient. No, they stop, they update the team loudly and clearly, and they change course mid-cut based on the objective evidence right in front of them. The outcome is the priority, not their ego. When you compare these two approaches, it's pretty obvious why this matters so much for your career trajectory. The lawyer's asset value just silently flatlines over time with every polished excuse, but the surgeon's authority actually compounds with every verified error they own up to. They treat bad data as a systemic upgrade rather than a personal threat, so the wider organization views them as having incredibly low leadership risk. Which brings us to Section 2, the AI blind spot, and why machines just can't do this. So why is this absolutely crucial right now? Well, because AI has completely commoditized baseline confidence. Anyone can spit out a flawless strategic proposal in seconds, which drops the market value of a perfectly confident presentation to zero. Large language models don't update, they just reweight probabilities. When AI is wrong, it just recalibrates statistically. No reputational cost, no bruised ego. But a human? A human standing up and bearing the agonizing public cost of admitting a mistake? That demonstrates a load-bearing skill AI literally can never touch. It shows genuine accountability. This actually connects directly to researcher Phil Tetlock's fascinating findings on forecasting. Standard experts update really slowly because their identity is wrapped up in being right. If the prediction fails, they feel like a failure. But super forecasters drastically outperform them because they'll rapidly update their estimates without treating it as a personal defeat. Their ego is tied to their methodology, not their original guess. They just want the most accurate map of reality possible. Okay, let's jump back into that tense corporate theater.
The CEO is dialing in from a lounge in Singapore, the board members are staring, and the data hits the screen. That $1.4 million illusion hangs in the heavy air for just 2 seconds before our author pushes back his chair and stands up to face the music.
He didn't make excuses. He didn't blame the macro environment. With just 4 words and a comma, "I was wrong, and here's what I now think," the entire room physically realigned. The CEO looked up from his phone, pens dropped, he commanded absolute attention. And the thing is, he wasn't begging for forgiveness. He was actively leading them through the reversal. If you want to successfully capture the reversal premium before someone else calls out your mistake and wrecks your credibility, you've got to execute 3 precise reps. Let's walk through this playbook step by step so you can apply it next time you're backed into a corner.
Step 1 is all about preemption. You must name the reverse before someone else does. You own the error cleanly by stating the exact new negative data point, saying 260,000 instead of 1.4 million. Don't water it down. Be exact. And implicitly shield your junior team from the fire. You made the call, so the reverse is yours and yours alone. Step 2, show the update, not just the new answer. When you reverse publicly, the instinct is to panic and offer a shiny new illusion to make everyone feel better. Resist that urge. Instead, explain exactly how your internal process misread the initial data. Prove to the board that your methodology isn't permanently broken, you're simply debugging your own internal software based on new evidence. And finally, step 3. Do not abdicate your leadership by just apologizing and sitting down. Recommit smaller with a deadline. Set a new, tighter boundary, like asking for exactly 60 days to overhaul the plan and bring it back. Put yourself voluntarily back on the hook. This proves your capacity to steer the ship through the storm is still completely intact. The compounding returns of this integrity, honestly, they were staggering. A terrifying warning transformed into an endorsement text from the CFO just hours later, and 6 months down the line, an offer for a seat on a sister company board. He lost $1 million of theoretical credibility in one agonizing moment, but he bought 20 years of authentic authority in 11 minutes of absolute honesty. This is exactly why the strategy works. Helen, a formidable board director sitting right in that room, recognized immediately what happened. She realized true executive authority isn't about perfect initial projections. It's about the speed and integrity you command when those projections inevitably shatter. She explicitly wanted a leader who could self-correct. She saw a surgeon, not a lawyer. So I want to leave you with a provocative thought to really challenge your own leadership playbook. Because here's the undeniable truth. Your next strategic failure is already on its way to your desk right now. When the numbers flash red, how will you handle it? Will you play the lawyer and defend the illusion? Or will you step into the reversal? I hope this explainer has given you the framework to choose wisely. Thanks for joining me.